All right. We looking at Psalms 34 and 7. This is what we want to be. Hopefully. We read in 2nd Ezra 16 and 67. Behold, the Most High himself is the judge. He's going to judge the wicked, like we just read. Fear him. Fear the Most High. Behold, the Most High himself is the judge. Fear him. Leave off from your sins, or you the wicked that he said you're going to destroy, as we just read. And forget your iniquities. Forget your wickedness that you've been doing. To meddle no more with them forever. Why you got to change? Listen what he said. So shall the Most High lead you forth. When you start to follow his rules and regulations, his laws, statutes, and commandments, he's going to lead you forth. He's going to show you the way and deliver you from all trouble, right? So now, go to Psalms 34 and 7. Psalm 34 and 7. The angel of the Most High encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them. See? So the Most High going to deliver you through his angel. So his angel of the Most High encampeth around about them that fear him, and delivereth them. But you don't fear him? Oh. You think you just going to do whatever you want to do? Like the world done told you you're not under the law? The Most High took the time with his finger to write these laws, and you going to say you ain't under them? 613 laws, moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, and ceremonial laws that you say you ain't got to follow? You better ask somebody before it's too late. Look, 2nd Ezra 16. Verse 68. 4. Behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle, with things offered unto idols. So some of them, they're going to take away, you're going to look around, they got them buses coming around. Hey, come on us, we're going to be eating everything that you can think of, and you hungry, and what y'all going to do? Y'all going to go in there and eat it, whatever they have. Sacrifice the idols to the idols. You know, some people already got idols that they going in there. They already got the idol there, the Buddha statue or whatever. You go in there, you still eating. Then they sacrifice all that food that they had for that day to that idol. You still doing it. So you used to doing it anyway. You say, hey, we got food. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go and eat it. But you had us that we're gonna see. They wouldn't eat no abomination. Listen. For there shall be in every place, verse 69, and they that consent unto them, eating up the food that they sacrifice to these idols, shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot, bring you down. For there shall be in every place and the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Most High. So they coming against, like I said, ain't no different than what you see. I bring it up all the time through the Spirit of the Most High. Revelation 12 and 12. Y'all should know it by heart. 12 and 12 and 12 and 17. What we got next? That's why we have to be in the Spirit. That's the only way we're going to get out of this. Or you're going to prolong your life for a few more days and then be thrown in the lake of fire for your fun or your happiness or whatever it is that you figure you're going to be able to sustain yourself from this wrath that we're reading about, these plagues that the Most High talking about here. Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe, destruction to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, those in the earth and those out there in the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. Why? Because he knoweth that he have but a short time. So he's coming down with great wrath because he know we have a short time. Now, his time is over. Who's got the next time? Forever and ever and ever. We, the children of Israel, through the power of the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua. Understand, overstand this. This is known. So verse 17, who we coming down with? Just to show you that it coincides with what we're going to read in Ezra. And the dragon, which is the serpent, which is the devil, which is the ones that's following the devil. He said, all could be thine if you worship me. These kingdoms that are on this earth right now, the system. And the dragon was wroth with the woman. The woman is the children of Israel. Jeremiah 6:2, for I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. So he's coming down on us. And when to make war with the remnant, that's the 1/3 of her seed. Because he already got the 2/3, he ain't got to worry about the 2/3, they already like them. A lot of y'all Gentiles, okay, because you're Israelite, whatever. You know you're Israelite, you're still a Gentile if you follow the way that they would have you follow. When he said, come out of her, my people, that you receive not of her sins. Be not partakers of her sins and receive none of her plagues. You just like them. You just like these other nations. I don't care if you call yourself Israelite or not. If you're doing what they say do, your spirit is just prideful and the way they would have you to be as they are, you a Gentile. Straight up. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High. They gonna follow. They following the commandments of the Most High and have the testament of a Mashiach Yahushua. From Genesis all the way to Revelation. Straight up and everything in between. You see? That's what we coming down upon. Now listen to what it says in the Apocrypha. Since y'all took it out, y'all Protestants took it out, let's see what he said. Taking it to 1670. For there shall be in every place and the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Most High. That's the remnant of the 12 tribes of Israel. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Most High. If we don't have what we need beyond fear of the Most High, keeping his commandments, inquiring unto him, and having a broken and contrite spirit of humility, all you prideful suckers, he gonna get you. Because the Most High's pride is hateful before the Most High and man. Understand this, overstand this. For they shall waste and take away their goods. Hear that? They're going to waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Hear that? Going to throw them out of their houses. Then shall they be known. Hear that? Then shall it be known whom are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Man. Hear, O ye, my beloved, said the Most High. Who's the Most High beloved? Because a lot of y'all say, well, the beloved is those that call on the name of Jesus or that doing whatever they need to do and going to church and listen to the preacher say what he says, singing in the choir and all the things that you did that you've been programmed to think in your brain being polluted. But who are the beloved? The Bible answers itself. Baruch 3:36. He have found out all the way of knowledge and have given it unto Jacob. Jacob is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, his servant, and to Israel, we the Israelites, his beloved. Okay? So it's talking to us, the Israelites, period. The beloved. Going back to 2 Ezra 16. Say, then shall it be, verse 73, then shall it be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire, with his word of the Most High. Hear, O ye my beloved, O Israelites, said the Most High, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I, the Most High, will deliver you from the same. Hear that? Yeah, the days of trouble are at hand for us. But the Most High said, I will deliver you from the same. Is he going to deliver you? Are you working so he deliver you? Because all of us got to be able to work ourselves, for our salvation, for ourselves, with fear and trembling. I can't depend on nobody else. I got to depend on me. And you got to depend on yourself. Understand this, overstand this. While you have opportunity, one day closer to the kingdom, to get it right. Say, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. by his word. Hear, O ye my beloved Israelites, said the Most High, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I, the Most High, will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt. That's the problem with a lot of people. They don't have faith in the Most High. But the Most High is your guide. He's going to guide you in the way you should go. But some people can't wait for the guidance of the Most High. They guide from man. They look at how a man say or a woman say, then they're going to follow this way. And it's against what the Most High have planned. So therefore, you done moved him out the way. So how you expect him to come and deal with you whenever you really need him another time? When you moved him out the way. That's what people do. And the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, said the Most High. Power. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. See? You gotta be aware of this. But you have an opportunity to get it right. Now, continue. You say, woe, destruction to be unto them that are bound in their sins and covered with their iniquity. Some of you are still coming into truth. You repented, but you're still holding on to the past. And your past might have not been so beautiful, but you're still waddling in the things that you've done wrong, and you don't believe that the Most High forgave you for your sins. Therefore, anything comes up, you're still in that same mindset of the old man, the old woman, the old feelings that you had that comes about because you cannot function in letting it go and moving forward to the present, to the future, because you're still caught in the past. You know, some people, they're in a time warp. They never really came out of the condition that they were in, or some people needed counseling, I might say, the right counseling, so that they won't hold on to their iniquity, their sins. Sure, we all have sinned. It says it comes short of the glory of the Most High, right? But if you hold on to it, he said, that's destroying yourself. You're going to destroy yourself. Nobody got to destroy you. You're going to destroy yourself. He said, woe, destruction be unto them that are bound with their sins and covered with their iniquities. Like as a field is covered over with bushes, and the path thereof covered with thorns, that no man may travel through, it is left undressed, because it's all, everything growing wild. Ain't no path. Used to be a path there. You can walk through there. You can't see nothing. It is left undressed and is cast into the fire to be consumed therewith. That's what you want? He said you're going to be cast into the fire to be consumed therewith. That's why he gave an analysis of that. The last thing Ezra is saying to us. Because joy prolongs the life. So therefore, sadness and all the things that you can deal with, and just allowing your mind and your spirit to stay in the past of something that you was dealing with and sin to weigh you down, say you're going to be cast, it's like cast into the fire, man. Because you're going to never come out of it, because you holding on to something. How the Most High going to forgive you of the things that we done wrong, and you still believe that you're still dealing with this, and that all these things you've done wrong, you haven't forgotten about it because you're still operating at any day, any time with those same feelings, those same emotions and so forth. That's death. That's what he's telling you. That's the last thing Ezra's told us. You don't understand Ezra. It's a powerful cat, man. I mean, a lot of people don't understand about concerning Ezra. But there's a lot that he was given, more than any prophet. 204 books. We only have, majority of the people have 66. The revised version of the King James Bible or whatever Bible they have. These published Bibles by some company that's making money off the Bible's #1 seller in the world, right? So Ezra was given 204 books. So he had 124 more books than you would have if you have 80 books. You see? He was given all of that. So now, I want to look at Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus 25. And let's look at verse 11. Start at verse 11. It says, but the love of the Most High passes all things for illumination. So we know the love of the Most High is 1 John 5:3. For this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous, right? So the love of the Most High passes all things for illumination. He that holdeth it, whereto shall he be likened. You hold on to the love of the Most High's commandments, his laws that he told us to follow, his rules and regulations. Say, whereto should this man be likened? The fear of the Most High is the beginning of his love. You know? So the fear of the Most High is the beginning of his love, which is the keeping of the Most High's commandments. And faith is the beginning of cleaving unto him, believing in him, trusting in him, without doubting, is the beginning of cleaving unto him. He said, give me any plague but the plague of the heart. Give me any plague but the plague of the mind. Because it tell you the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? The Most High know it. So he said, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, right? The plague of the way you think, following your own mind. And it's contrary to the Most High. Listen to what he said. And any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. Wow. Why would we say any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman? I mean, it's written by King Solomon. He had 1,000 women. That's written. He should know how the anatomy of a woman is. And every man that had many women, you know how the anatomy of a woman is. But he said, give me any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. That's an unrighteous woman, you see. Not a virtuous woman. And any affliction but the affliction from them that hate me. And any revenge but the revenge of enemies. Verse 16 says, I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. Wow. Say you rather, that's a plague, boy. It sounds like a plague to me. He said he'd rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. Whew. Man, that's deep. So let's look at, I want to go into, First Maccabees. I want to deal with this because before it gets too late. First Maccabees 7. Like I said, I got to continue this because I'm all in these words, man. Go to First Maccabees, the 7th chapter. Look at Maccabees. No, I think I want to. Bear with me. I'm gonna see something. Yeah, 2nd Maccabees 7th chapter. I want to show you a prophecy. I'm going to show you how this manifested. So we're looking at 2nd Maccabees, the 7th chapter, verse 1. It says, it came to pass also that 7 brethren, 2nd Maccabees, the 7th chapter, 1st verse, it came to pass also that 7 brothers with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law. All you say we don't know the law, against the law, to taste swine's flesh, right? And were tormented with scourges and whips. So he put them, he tormented them, he boiled them, and hot grease and all that, like you cook chicken. Boil them like that. Cut their tongues out, torture them. Whipped them, tortured them, did all that. I want to make sure you understand the law. Against the law, right? Leviticus 11 chapter is the dietary law. They wouldn't eat swine. 7 brothers and their mother. They wouldn't eat swine. Leviticus 11 chapter 7 verse. They died rather than eat abomination. And look, our people today, they don't even look at no ingredients or nothing. Just look good, taste good, let me eat it. But listen, this is our culture in our law that the Most High gave us. Leviticus 11 and 7. And the swine that they was tormented, 7 brothers and a mother, and the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. That's pig, pork. But they say pork, the other white meat. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you, okay? So now, going back to Second Maccabees, the 7th chapter, verse 1 again, it said, and it came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king, this king, wicked king Antiochus, this Edomite king, against the law, as we just read, to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips, right? So, I want to, so all 7 brothers being tormented to death, cutting off their arms and cutting off their hands and cutting off parts of their bodies and boiling them and all this stuff. Tormented by this wicked Edomite king, so-called white man king, King Antiochus Epiphanes, right? So now, here he's identified in verse 24. Now Antiochus, thinking himself despised and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech, which all of them gave a speech before they died, while the youngest was yet alive, did not only exhort him by words, but also assured him with oaths that he would make him both a rich and a happy man if he would turn from the laws of his fathers, the laws of the Most High, and that also he would take him for his friend and trust him with affairs. So you're going to make him pretty much a rich man and trust him with his affairs. This is in the Greek Empire, before the Roman Empire, when the Messiah came on the earth. This is before. But when the young man would in no case hearken unto him, the king, now he just seen all 6 of his brothers be tormented to death. And he's the youngest. And when the young man would in no case hearken unto him, the king called his mother and exhorted her. And she done watched all 6 of her sons be tormented to death. And she was telling them, die manfully, knowing that her turn is coming. But when the young man would in no case hearken unto him, this wicked king Antiochus Epiphanes, the king called his mother and exhorted her that she would counsel the young man to save his life. And when he had exhorted her with many words, she promised him that she would counsel her son. She promised, I'm going to counsel my son. But she, bowing herself toward him, laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn, spake in her country language of Hebrew on this matter. This is a bad sister. O my son, have pity upon me, that I bare thee 9 months in my womb, and gave thee suck 3 years. 3 years. And nourished thee, and brought thee up unto this age, and endured the troubles of education. I beseech thee, my son, she's speaking in Hebrew, look upon the heaven and the earth, and all that is therein, and consider that the Most High made them of things that were not, and so was mankind made likewise. This is what she said. Fear not this tormentor. This is a mother telling the seventh son, all 6 other sons have been tormented to death. What she say? Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren. While she was yet speaking these words, the young man said, whom wait ye for? I will not obey the king's commandment, but I will obey the commandment of the law that was given unto our fathers by Moses. He said, I'm not going to follow this king's commandments, but I'm going to follow the laws that was given to our forefathers by Moses. And thou, and that has been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews, shall not escape the hands of the Most High. Keep this in mind. Keep this in mind what he's saying here. The youngest son, before he was tortured to death. And thou, talking to Antiochus Epiphanes, that has been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews, shall not escape the hands of the Most High. For we suffer because of our sins. He said, we suffer because of our sins. And thou, and though the living power be angry with us a little while for our chastening and correction, excuse me, yet shall he be at one again with his servants. He gonna be one with us, the children of Israel, 12 tribes of Israel. But thou, talking to Antiochus Epiphanes, this Edomite, so-called white man king, but thou, O godless man, unrighteous man, and of all other most wicked, hear the word of the Most High, y'all, be not lifted up without a cause, nor puffed up with uncertain hopes, lifting up thy hand against the servants of the Most High. Hear this word, then, now, and forever. And but thou, O unrighteous man, and of all other most wicked, not only him, but all other most wicked, be not lifted up without a cause, nor puffed up with uncertain hopes, lifting up thy hand against the servants of the Most High, lifting up your hand against the children of Israel. But thou hast not yet escaped the judgment of Almighty power, Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who seeth all things. We done heard this. For our brethren, who now have suffered a short pain, are dead under the Most High's covenant of everlasting life. But thou, Antiochus Epiphanes, so-called white man, through the judgment of the Most High, shall receive just punishment for thy pride. You hear that? Remember we said the city's going to be destroyed because of pride? Troubled because of the pride. But thou, through the judgment of the Most High, shall receive just punishment for thy pride. But I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the laws of our fathers, for not eating swine, for not eating pork or the hog. Y'all ready for this? He said, but I, as my brethren, he done watched all 6 of his brothers be tortured to death. And his mother right there. But I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the laws of our fathers, beseeching the Most High that he would speedily be merciful unto our nation, and that thou, by torments and plagues, mayest confess that he alone is the Most High. I'll read you again. That thou, talking to Antiochus Epiphanes, Edomite king, by torments and plagues, mayest confess that he alone is the Most High, and not him. And that in me and my brethren, the wrath of the Almighty, which is justly brought upon all our nation, may cease. Then the king, being in a rage, handled him worse than all the rest, and took it grievously that he had been mocked. He was mocked. So this man died undefiled, put his whole trust in the Most High, put all his faith in the Most High. That's where we at, y'all. You got to put your whole trust in the Most High. Last of all, after the sons, the mother died. After she done killed all 7 of her sons, the mother died. Let this be enough now to have spoken concerning the idolatrous feast and the extreme tortures, right? So now, let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter. It's a lot of reading, but it's worth it. And this showing you that you could think you could do whatever you want to do, and in the end, you're gonna all of a sudden become righteous, and you've been wicked all this time. Let's see, 2nd Ezra 9:1. Like I said, I got a lot to go over, a lot of precepts, but this is so important. I want to bring this forth, if you don't mind. Second Maccabees, just in the Greek Empire too, so-called white man's first empire. Second Maccabees, the 9th chapter. After that time came Antiochus with dishonor out of the country of Persia, for he had entered the city called Persepolis and went about to rob the temple and to hold the city, whereupon the multitude running to defend themselves with their weapons put them to flight. He went to call himself, go to the temple and rob. The multitude got together and ran their butt out of the city. Whereupon the multitude running to defend themselves with their weapons put them to flight. And so it happened that Antiochus, being put to flight of the inhabitants, returned with shame, shameful. Now, when he had came to Ecbatana, news was brought him what had happened unto Nicanor and Timotheus. That's why we got the day of Nicanor, defeated the Edomites, and the day of celebration of the defeat of Nicanor, called Day of Nicanor. Then swelling with anger, he been made to run out of the city. Now he found out that Nicanor and Timotheus been brought down. Then swelling with anger, he thought to avenge upon the Jews, the Israelites, the disgrace done to him by those that made him flee. So we're going to take it on us, Israelites. Therefore commanded he his chariot man to drive without ceasing, and to dispatch the journey, the judgment of the Most High now following him, for he has spoken proudly in this sort, that he would come to Jerusalem, the city that the Most High loved, and make it a common burying place of the Jews. He gonna make Jerusalem, the city that the Most High loved, a burying place to put our bodies. Kill us and put our bodies in Jerusalem. A burying place, a graveyard, in other words. But the Most High Almighty, the power of Israel, smote him with an incurable and invisible plague. Read you again. Remember what the youngest son told him. Y'all don't forget. Remember what the youngest son told him. But the Most High Almighty, the power of Israel, smote him with an incurable and invisible plague. For as soon as he had spoken these words, a pain of the bowels that was remediless came upon him, and sore torments of the inner parts. You see, the Most High started dealing with him, tormenting him with this plague, like cancer. As soon as he spoke those words, he got cancer. We start eating him up and dealing with him. And that most justly, for he had tormented other men's bowels with many and strange torments. As you read about it, I didn't want to go over all the torments that he did. You know, you can read it where we just came from in Second Maccabees, the 7th chapter. Howbeit he nothing at all ceased from his bragging. Howbeit, even being his pain, howbeit he nothing at all ceased from his bragging, his pridefulness, but still was filled with pride. See? Most High done jacked him up. He feeling all this pain, he's still filled with pride. Breathing out fire in his rage against the Jews, against the Israelites, and commanded to haste the journey. But it came to pass, listen to what happened, but it came to pass, tell me, go fast, make it happen. But it came to pass that he fell down from his chariot, carried violently, can't fell down his chariot, he dragging him, violently, he already jacked up inside. So that having a sore fall, all the members of his body were much pain. You hear that? Judgment of the Most High. All the members of his body is pain. He's paining everything. He fell off that chair and the Most High had him bouncing around on the earth, rocks and everything, hitting, every member of his body is pain. And thus he that a little afore thought he might command the waves of the sea. So proud was he beyond the condition of man, and weighed the high mountains in a balance, was now cast on the ground and carried in horse litter. He went through horse boo-boo, showing forth unto all the manifest power of the Most High. You hear that? Most High had him go fall off that chariot and go through horse boo-boo. Dragging him through horse boo-boo. And every member of his body is hurting, in pain. Manifestation of the power of the Most High. Excuse me. So that the worms rose up out of the body of this wicked man. Listen. So that the worms rose up out of the body of this wicked man. And whilst he lived in sorrow and pain, his flesh fell away. So his flesh started falling away. He in pain all over his body. Worms start coming out of his body. Look. So that the worms rose up out of the body of this wicked man. And whilst he lived in sorrow and pain, his flesh fell away. He started losing his flesh. Flesh fell away. And the filthiness of his smell was noisome to all his army. He stank so bad that it was just bothering all his army. Everybody could smell him. And the man that thought a little before he could reach to the stars of heaven, no man could endure to carry for his intolerable stink. Nobody could stand to be around this cat because he was stinking so bad. Here therefore, being plagued, he began to leave off his great pride and to come to the knowledge of himself by the scourge of the Most High. You know, the Most High is doing this. His pain increasingly every moment in pain. That's why I say y'all can think you can just do whatever you want to do, and it's all right with the Most High. Your last moment to confess. Oh yeah, he confessed before he died, but he was wicked as ever while he lived. Verse 12. And when he himself could not abide his own smell, he couldn't even stand his own smell, stinking so bad, he said these words, it is meet, it is right to be subject unto the Most High, and that a man that is mortal should not proudly think of himself as if he were the Most High. And they still, to this day, y'all still got so-called white man's picture as the Most High. Still got the so-called white man as a Mashiach Yahushua and all the Israelites and so forth, all the people of the Bible. For that matter, he's still on their movies. I'm going to show you what he said. It is meet, which means it is right, to be subject unto the Most High. Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. And that a man that is mortal should not proudly think of himself as if he were God. He were the Most High. This wicked person vowed also unto the Most High, who now no more would have mercy upon him, saying thus. He vowed to the Most High, but the Most High ain't having no mercy. Mercy is not getting something you deserve, right? Is the Most High going to heal them? Is the Most High going to take away these pains in all his body? But here's what he going to say to the Most High. That the holy city to which he was going to haste, to lay it even with the ground, Jerusalem, and to make it a common burying place, he was set at liberty. And as touching the Jews, whom he had judged not worthy so much as to be buried, but to be cast out with their children, to be devoured of the fowls and wild beasts, he would make them all equals to the citizens of Athens. Is he pleading now to the Most High? In the holy temple, which before he had spoiled, he would garnish with godly gifts, goodly gifts, and restore all the holy vessels with many more, and out of his own revenue defray the charges belonging to the sacrifices. I'm going to pay for the sacrifices. Yeah. This is what he's crying to the Most High. Yeah. And that also he will become a Jew himself. Ain't that something? Yeah, and also that he will become a Jew himself. And go through all the world that was inhabited and declare the power of the Most High. Remember what he said. Remember what the youngest son said. You know, in verse in second Maccabees 7 and verse 36, he said, "For our brethren who now have suffered a short pain," that he put them through, tormenting them, "and dead under the Most High's covenant of everlasting life, but thou," talking about Antiochus Epiphanes, "through the judgment of the Most High shall receive just punishment for thy pride." See? You're going to receive just punishment for thy pride. See? Here it is. He told him, this is just punishment for his pride. Second Maccabees 9 and 18. "But for all this, his pains would not cease." he declared the Most High. He declared, talking to the Most High. Second Maccabees 7:37. "But I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the laws of our fathers, beseeching the Most High that he would speedily be merciful unto our nation, the 12 tribes of Israel, and that thou, Antiochus Epiphanes, by torments and plagues may have confessed that he alone is the Most High." That's what you're seeing happen. That we just read about in 2 Maccabees 9th chapter. Torments and his plagues that the Most High put upon him. First, he gave him cancer. I saw that thing of worst thing eating him up inside. Immediately when he said that, just started eating him up inside. Then he threw him off the chariot as they're going fast. Threw his butt off the chariot. And his pains was on. He was in. Oh, the chariot was carrying him, caught him up, and he was on the ground bouncing, so that every part of his body was in pain, suffering. He filled with disease and physical pain. 2 Maccabees 9:18. But for all this, his pains would not cease. That's why I say, verse 17, it said, verse 17, this is prayer to the Most High. And that also he would become a Jew himself and go through all the world that was inhabited and declare the power of the Most High. Just like the youngest son said he would do. There it is right there. The torments and declaring that the Most High is the power. But for all this, his pains would not cease. For the just judgment of the Most High was come upon him. Therefore, despairing of his health, he wrote unto the Jews a letter underwritten, containing this form of a supplication, which means sadness, after this manner. Antiochus, king and governor, to the good Jews, his citizens, wishes much joy, health, and prosperity. Ain't that something? Ain't that the devil? He did all this wickedness. Now here he come talking about to us. Remember, he planned on killing all of us, not burying anybody, letting Jerusalem be a burying ground, a graveyard. But here he is now writing. The Most High didn't deal with. That's why I say the Most High what he gotta do to you to get you to change. This for the Most High. Listen. Antiochus, king and governor, to the good Jews, his citizens, wishes much joy, health, and prosperity. If ye and your children fare well, and your affairs be to your contentment, I give very great thanks to God, to the Most High, having my hope in heaven. Is this something? As for me, I was weak, or else I would have remembered kindly your honor and goodwill, returning out of Persia and being taken with a grievous disease. Hear that? Most I gave a grievous disease. I thought it necessary to care for the common safety of all, not distrusting mine health, but having great hope to escape this sickness, the disease that the Most High put upon him. But considering that even my father, at what time he led an army into the high countries, appointed a successor, to the end that if anything fell out contrary to expectation, or if any tidings were brought that were grievous, they of the land, knowing to whom the state was left, might not be troubled. Again, considering how that the princes that are borderers and neighbors unto my kingdom wait for opportunities and expect what shall be the event, I have appointed my son Antiochus king, whom I often committed and commended unto many of you, when I went up into the high provinces, to whom I have written as followeth. Therefore I pray and respect you to remember the benefits that I have done unto you generally. Now he's talking about the benefits. You want to kill everybody. Like talking about, remember the good things I've done. I wasn't always wicked and evil with you. Therefore I pray and respect you to remember the benefits that I have done unto you generally and in special, and that every man will be still faithful to me and my son. For I am persuaded that he, understanding my mind, will favorably and graciously yield to your desires. Right? So, did he do that? No, he didn't. You hear what he said he want to do? He want to flatline Jerusalem, kill all of us. And don't bury nobody. Make sure that their bodies just be in the streets so the birds and the beasts can eat us up. Thus the murderer, this is what it says, thus the murderer and blasphemer, having suffered most grievously, as he entreated other men, he made everybody suffer. And we learned about him during the Feast of Dedication. We just had the Feast of Dedication, our last, holy day. And he entreated, let me read it again. Thus the murderer and blasphemer, having suffered most grievously, as he entreated other men, so died he a miserable death in a strange country in the mountains. Hear that? Read it again. Thus the murderer and blasphemer, having suffered most grievously, as he entreated other men, so died he a miserable death in a strange country in the mountains. And Philip, that was brought up with him, carried away his body, who also, fearing the son of Antiochus, went into Egypt to Ptolemy, Philometor. So I just wanted to share that with you because I thought that was great, in how people think that they can just do whatever they want to do, and before they die, they could just confess the Most High, and they're going to heaven. They're going to be saved. No, that's not true. Go to Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. That's not true, y'all. You got opportunity now. Your opportunity is now. Right now. To get it together. Especially you that's been learning this truth. Been rolling with these precepts and so forth. And the understanding of this Bible. That was the Greek Empire. The first empire of the so-called white man. Antiochus Epiphanes. He was one of the 4 generals that Alexander the Greek, you learned about him in school. After he died, he set up his kingdom under 4 generals. He was one of the 4 generals. Now let's look at Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Let's hear the end of the whole matter. Fear the Most High, as we done heard in this lesson so far, and keep his commandments. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments. What is this? For this is the whole duty of man. To fear the Most High, be afraid to be scared, and respect the Most High to the utmost. Hallelujah. And keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment, just like Antiochus' work.